to the LEC G2 takedown Astralis and Caps. I'm sorry, but I have to say it, I'm actually super impressed having this interview with you right now, given how good you've been in the Caps recaps interview. So I hope I can be at least as good as you today. How are you doing?
Yeah, thank you. I'm doing pretty good. I mean, it was quite a game we just had.
Yeah.
But I'm just happy we ended up with a win. And so far the summer season is going decent.
Decent. That is great to hear. Let's talk about this game though, because it was close. I feel. I mean, from a viewer's perspective. But how was it for you, and what made it so close?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think our bot lane was kind of smurfing, right? They got the double kill like level 2, I think, or maybe level 1.
Yeah.
So it was like it kind of should be over from that maybe, but unfortunately, I think I got caught like quite a bit, which probably made it a bit harder for the game. Like they were pretty good at like catching me when I wanted to go on the Lucian, and then I guess I ended up like having to play a bit from behind from that. Oh.
Yeah. Go ahead. You were saying something.
Yeah, and oh yeah. So basically, it was just like a bit hard, but then we also just farm, right? And especially when you have a really fat AD carry, when you get some more items on him, he will be much stronger than like other lanes, like relatively when he gets like more items. So while Rex was super fat early, it might not be as easy to snowball as it is like later in the game when he actually gets more items.
All right. Well, I wanted to have your take on Akali because we've seen some unbeatables Akali so far. But as you said, you were in a difficult situation here. So can you explain the pick when it's in a difficult situation? How hard is it to play it with?
Yeah, I mean, definitely Akali is pretty strong right now. I think she does like a lot of damage, and especially the stealth is like hard to deal with for a lot of champions. I think this game, again, I felt a bit behind, so I wasn't doing as much damage as I wanted to. But I mean, still, even then, it's like if you get to a squishy, you'll probably just kill them. Especially when you have a lot of champions that can go in, it can be hard for especially AD carries on mid lanes to live. I guess this game they had Karthus, so maybe he didn't really want to live. He kind of wanted to die, but I can at least like try to bring him into his passive.
I'm glad that you mentioned Karthus because I was surprised that they went for this pick. We didn't see so many AP bot lanes usually lately, but what did you think of their drafting choices and this champion, especially in this composition?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely like an interesting choice. I mean, they went for like the Lucian mid, so maybe they thought like they didn't want another AD carry, or maybe specifically against like Kali. I guess Karthus also makes some sense because it's a lot of like damage that goes through the W. But yeah, I'm not sure. Obviously, I think I didn't actually see what happened like that was 1 or 2, but something went wrong. I think maybe Miki got like a Q off, and Rectus was able to like all in together with them. So it's hard to see to watch if they like die level 1 or 2. But definitely, like in theory, it makes sense.
All right. Well, another flex pick in this meta, actually. We've seen a lot lately. To me, like, it's the center of this meta right now, the fact that you can pretty much flex anything into a lot of positions. And it reminds me that in 2019, it was one of the strong sides of G2, the fact that you were able to flex many picks and surprise the opponent. So how is this meta playing for you? And do you think you're going to be able to take advantage of it? Without saying too much, of course.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for sure, it's like a lot of fun so far. I mean, now next patch they are making like a kind of big patch change, so maybe things will change then. But I mean, so far there's a lot of champions that can be flexed, and we are kind of playing them on all roles, most of them at least. So in that sense, we don't really have any champions we don't feel particularly comfortable on in terms of like a lot of the stronger picks. So it's definitely nice meta for us. I think we have seen like a lot of Gwen bans against us so far.
Yeah.
And today I think we got Gwen and Viego banned out before we got to pick. So definitely something that we like to have in the meta. But we'll see if it changes with the next patch.
Yeah, with the mobility and so on. But we'll touch on that a bit later. But for now, match of the week tomorrow, you'll face off against Rogue. Hansam, I felt a bit confident, I want to say, earlier when I talked to him about the matchup. How do you feel about Rogue and what you've seen from them so far?
I mean, Rogue seems decent. I mean, they're just like kind of doing the same thing they always do, right? They usually have a lot of like winning lanes and try to snowball the game. But there's a lot of kind of like new champions that can maybe like shake up a bit of the way they play. So I'm feeling pretty comfortable too. I think if we get a champion that can kind of like create some chaos, so to say, then they'll feel a bit out of their comfort zone. I mean, that's also kind of what we saw in the final. I feel like when Mad Lions were able to create a bit of chaos, like they, especially with like the Wukong and stuff, then they didn't really know what to do. And I'm hoping we can replicate that tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see how you can spice things up against them tomorrow. But for now, Caps, thanks for the interview and good luck on match of the week.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And to wrap up this day, we're going to take a short break and we'll be back in a couple